Hello, hello. Welcome to day one of how to turn your 2026 traffic into a sleigh full of leads. If we have not met yet, my name is Kelly and I help wedding pros, wellness providers, and service businesses get found on Google so that their website brings in leads, even when they're not near their laptop. Today is all about one thing. It's letting your website work while you take a break. Because yes, you deserve to take a break. You deserve to go and bake cookies, watch movies with your family, do whatever it is that you want to do. And it does not take just this holiday season for us to do that. We should be able to do that at any point of the year and get leads. So before we dive into the tips that I'm going to give you today to help you get there, I want you to just kind of picture how Google works. Google will recommend you to your audience if they understand what it is that you do. If they do not understand what it is that you do and who it is that they need to show your website to, they are going to overlook you. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that our website is set up properly so that it can do that. Google does a couple of things. It scans your web page to understand what it is that you do. It looks at how your website is organized, and it determines from there where and when it should show your web page. All of this is how you get recommended on Google, how you find people or they find you, and who are already searching for what you do. And I want to give you the 4 tips that's going to help you get recommended by Google. The first one is using real world phrasing. So a lot of websites sound beautiful. They have all of this like cute branded type of personality driven copy, which is great. However, Google cannot understand what that means because humans are not actually searching for the words that you're using. So when you're using text like elevated experiences, intentional storytelling, creating magic for your moments, those are things that are nice. It's great. They're very, like I said, personality driven. However, Google cannot understand what it is that means and who they need to show you to. So a lot of people miss out on being able to being shown because we're not infusing the two together. It's okay for you to use those type of branded personality driven keywords. I love that. However, we also need to infuse the keywords that people are actually typing in. Wedding photographer in Miami, postpartum therapist near me, sleep consultant for toddlers. Those are the things that people are typing in, and we need to be able to speak to Google and speak to our audience. So if you are for example, a photographer and your services pages say, capturing love stories, but people are searching for wedding photographer in Miami, Google has no idea that you're a match. So I want you to take a look at your website and I want you to use real world phrases and things that people are going to type in. And I want you to look at your homepage first. I want you to go above the fold, so that first hero section that you get to, and I want you to look and see if you are using phrases that Google would understand what it is that you do. And if not, I want you to fix that today. Think about it like this. If someone gets on your website and they can't tell what it is that you do in 5 seconds, Google's not going to be able to tell that either. So we need to match the language that Google is understanding and what our audience is going to understand as well. Okay. Tip number 2 is adding proof signals that Google loves. I want us to think of proof signals like ornaments on a tree, right? Without them, the tree is just a tree. But it doesn't catch anyone's attention. It really doesn't kind of like spark any type of interest. And so Google looks for these pieces of decoration to make sure that you are the best person that they should be showing off to. So here are a few ornaments that Google looks for. FAQs with clear answers, testimonials that are written in a natural, everyday phrasing, clear service descriptions that can describe what it is that you offer, the idea of who you help and who it is that they need to show you off to, before and after explanations, locations that you serve. These are helpful for Google, but it's also helpful for people who get to your service page because it helps make your offer a no-brainer. So when both Google and humans understand what it is that you do on your service page and it makes it very clear, then your website can be shown. Tip number 3, which oftentimes we actually don't think about, is our contact form. So people get to our website, they're ready to reach out, they're ready to move forward, but our contact form feels like we think about like assembling a toy without instructions on Christmas morning. It's annoying. It takes you forever because you are having to sit there and you're trying to figure out how to do this, right? Or it's taking forever and really didn't need to take that long if you had the instructions. We want our contact form to be easy to fill out. We want it to be like it takes not that long for you to capture the information. When you look at your contact form, I want you to think about if you need all of that information right off the bat for someone to fill out a lead capture form and showcase that they're interested. Because if not, if it takes them forever to fill out the form, if the form is like super long and it's just asking all these like in-depth type of questions, then they're more likely to leave. Now we want the form to you want to get some information just so people can show that they're actually interested, right? We don't want it to be like too basic to where just anyone and everyone's filling it out. But we do want to make sure that it's going to not have people leave our website because it's just too long, too lengthy, just too much information. So when they leave, if and when they leave because of the contact form, and not only then prevents you from getting that lead, but then Google looks at that as if, okay, if people are leaving this site, then this site must not be helpful. It must have not been as helpful as we thought it was going to be. And so it's going to recommend you less. So we want to make sure that we're helping Google recommend you more and more. But then we also want to make sure that when people get to your site, it's easy for them to take that next step. So what I want you to do is look at your service contact form and see if it is easy for someone to fill out. Is it easy for someone to be able to put in the information, hit submit, and go on to the next thing? Okay. Tip number 4, your images. Okay. Your images play a big role in how Google decides whether to recommend you or not, because Google sees them and they are able to then, and they don't look at it from a visual standpoint. They look at it from an idea of a visual, like from reading it. So imagine walking into a holiday market where everything smells amazing and you're in this like store, but all the signs and everything is like really tiny or the signs are missing. You don't know how much things are because just everything is just, the signs are just all over the place. You want to be able to purchase stuff, but you can't figure out where anything is. That's how it is when Google feels your website, or they scan your website, but the images are too large, or there's not a descriptive information about your images. If your images are too large, your pages are going to load slower. So it's going to create a bad experience for your audience who gets on the site, but it's also going to create a bad experience for Google, because then Google is going to see that as a slower loading page that is not from a technical standpoint not set up properly. So Google's going to lose patience. Your visitors are going to lose patience. And we want to make sure that the pages load fast so that they can get the information and they can continue to go to that contact page. So when you have your images, it's important to make sure, and I see this a lot for in the wedding industry, but for all industries, it's important to make sure that your images are sized in a way that's going to help this page still load properly. You also need to make sure that your images say what it is that you do. It's a descriptive way in the file names and in the descriptions. Google has no idea what it's looking at if you don't do this, right? So to Google, an image without that context is like a wrapped gift without a tag. It may be wonderful, but Google doesn't know who it's for, so it can recommend it. Your images are part of the story, and Google wants to be able to read it, but they can't if you're not being able to add that descriptive text in those areas. So today, what I want you to take away from this video is, 1, your phrases on your website need to match what people are searching. Your pages need to have those ornaments or those proof signals that are going to help people to understand what it is that you do about your service pages, who you help, that you're the best person for it, but it's also going to help Google. Your contact form needs to actually help your audience get to the finish line. So when they get to that website, they feel confident about reaching out. And when they do get to that contact form, it's easy for them to do that. And your images need to speak clearly to Google so Google can be able to help showcase that page so that your audience is able to load the page very easily, but then also so Google can be able to use that descriptive text that you use in the image to be able to help you towards your goal. Your website can help you do this, okay? It can be the one that's greeting people while you're off baking cookies, the one that is warming up leads while you're watching movies, the one that's holding the door open even when you're nowhere near your laptop. And I hope this video helped you towards that. Be sure to check out the email for today's free gift, and let me know if you have any questions.